Definitely a factor, but it's part of a much bigger picture that incorporates other issues like a general decline in storytelling quality, a prioritization of quantity over quality
within their building, right? So,
Right.
We see all these third-party companies in gaming that's going off right now. But like Disney is that third-party company. They are the DEI department. Lucasfilm is the DEI department, and now Marvel is too. And it was really easy for comic book fans to figure this out.
Disney is in chaos, and it's not just behind closed doors. A full-scale civil war is raging as executives, investors, and frustrated fans clash over the company's future. What's driving this turmoil, and why are fans' voices finally being heard? Today, we're diving into a monumental debate where Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic took Disney to task, revealing shocking truths that have left the studio scrambling for answers. How did they expose the core issues of identity politics and declining storytelling quality? Can you believe Critical Drinker pointed out problems that even Disney's own executives failed to recognize? Get ready to uncover the explosive moments from this debate and what they could mean for Disney's future. Are we witnessing the dawn of real change, or is it just wishful thinking? Stay with us as we explore these critical revelations. Disney is embroiled in a fierce internal struggle as studio executives, investors, and a growing chorus of disenchanted fans clash over the company's direction. The discontent is finally being acknowledged. After years of setbacks, Disney finds itself at a crossroads, unsure of its path forward. In an unprecedented televised debate, Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic took the spotlight, delivering a devastating critique that has left Disney's reputation hanging by a thread. This is about much more than box office performance. It's a battle over identity politics, subpar storytelling, and a disengaged audience. The most striking revelation? Critical Drinker seems to understand Disney's challenges far better than the company's own strategists. What key insights did he uncover, and what implications does this have for Disney's future? Let's dig into the highlights from this explosive debate. You won't want to miss this.
Definitely a factor, but it's part of a much bigger picture that incorporates other issues like a general decline in storytelling quality, a prioritization of quantity over quality, and like delving too much into identity politics, which by their nature are divisive. Of course they are. And so all of those different factors working together have slowly undermined their creative output to the point where all of their major franchises are failing. Star Wars is kind of a disaster at the moment. The Marvel Cinematic Universe that used to be this money printing behemoth is churned out flop after flop in recent years, and even their own their own unique animation movies like Wish,
Haunted Mansion flop, Pixar flops all over the place.
Yes, exactly. All of those different aspects of their creative output have flopped, and they've got nowhere to go at this point. Clearly, something has to change. What they're doing is not working anymore. They've got nowhere to go at this point. Clearly, something has to change. What they're doing is not working anymore.
Sorry,
a lot of those movies were not. A lot of those movies, were not.
But going back to Black Panther, did Black Panther succeed because there were black people in it? No,
it was a great story.
It was a recognizable character that comic fans that I had been reading since I was 6 and 7 years old.
And the thing is, they tried to replicate
followed
the same exact formula for Black Panther with the second one, and it made half as much
within their building, right? So we see all these third-party companies in gaming that's going off right now. But like Disney is that third-party company. They are the DEI department. Lucasfilm is the DEI department, and now Marvel is too. And it was really easy for comic book fans to figure this out because we read the comic books. She-Hulk, for example, was a great comic book. It was reverent. It broke the fourth wall. That the famous run is by John Byrne, and I love the comic book. She-Hulk was a member of the Fantastic Four. This is one of my favorite female Marvel characters, and they destroyed her because they don't know what they're doing. I did a clip in one of my videos of all of the writers for most of the Disney Plus, stating that they didn't know anything about the comics and they didn't read the comics. And that's part of the reason, because they're just there for identity politics. It's we used to joke about they're just checking boxes when they're literally checking boxes now.
What do you think of this? I mean, Critical Drinker, there's no doubt Disney's in a pretty poor run at the moment. How much of that is down to woking up the movies?
I mean, I think it's...
The House of Mouse is falling down. Disney's last 4 big releases have bombed at the box office. The company is currently no longer Hollywood's #1 film studio. Recent box office takings show even Marvel has lost its, well, Marvel. And critics say the reason is simple. Disney's prioritized identity politics over entertainment, pushing messages audiences don't want or need to hear. So have they got a point? Well, to discuss all that and more, 2 titans of YouTube are returning to Uncensored by popular demand. Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic, otherwise known as Will and Gary, but I prefer your stage names, guys. We're going to stick to those. Also here to debate is Uncensored contributor Esther Krakow and the author for The Case for Cancel Culture, Ernest Owens, which is one of the worst named titles of a book, Ernest, I can ever envisage, but we'll let that pass.
Disney's turmoil has reached a boiling point, with tensions flaring among its executives, investors, and a growing number of frustrated fans. The aftermath of multiple high-profile failures has plunged the company into confusion, leaving it grappling for answers on how to regain its footing. This turmoil isn't just taking place behind closed doors, it stems directly from the escalating backlash from fans who are demanding a shift in Disney's focus. Among those leading the charge against Disney's controversial pivot toward identity politics are 2 influential voices who have gained enough traction that even Disney can't ignore them. During a recent national debate, the situation escalated rapidly. The Disney representative appeared visibly rattled as Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic systematically dismantled his arguments, revealing significant shortcomings in the company's current strategies. Moderated by Piers Morgan, this heated exchange began with a bang and only intensified from there. What's crucial here is how the critiques resonated not just with the live audience, but potentially with Disney's own executives, urging them to reevaluate their approach. Critical Drinker offered a straightforward analysis of Disney's recent financial missteps, showcasing an understanding of the company's predicament that surpassed that of some internal advisors. He highlighted key issues: a noticeable decline in writing quality, an oversaturation of content, and an unhealthy focus on identity politics at the expense of engaging storytelling. Nerdrotic reinforced this assessment, emphasizing that Disney's strategy of prioritizing activists over seasoned creators has severely impacted the quality of their films and shows. Together, these critics presented a powerful argument that could force Disney to reconsider its future direction. Nerdrotic hits the nail on the head. Disney has seemingly morphed into a company primarily focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. This shift has led to hiring practices that prioritize meeting quotas over delivering quality content. Instead of selecting individuals based on experience or a genuine passion for their projects, Disney often opts for employees based on superficial qualifications, such as gender or ethnicity, rather than their storytelling skills. Projects like She-Hulk, The Acolyte, and the forthcoming Rey Star Wars movie serve as prime examples of this misguided approach. Each of these has flopped, clearly illustrating that the creators behind them lacked a true understanding of what constitutes compelling storytelling. Despite facing repeated failures, Disney appears oblivious to the root of its problems. For years, industry creators have highlighted the same issues: a decline in writing quality, an obsession with quantity over quality, and the company's fixation on pushing political agendas at the expense of genuine entertainment. Yet Disney seems either too blind or too stubborn to confront these core issues. This was evident in the debate, where the Disney representative could not acknowledge that the company's emphasis on politics rather than storytelling has contributed to its downfall. Instead, he deflected, arguing that the real problem lay elsewhere. While he pointed out the lack of originality due to an overabundance of sequels, prequels, and spin-offs, an undeniably accurate observation: Disney's tendency to produce these films is often driven by their past success. The reality is that audiences would be more forgiving if these sequels and spin-offs were actually good. However, that's the crux of the issue: they're not. Disney has failed to deliver anything remarkable in years, whether it's a sequel, prequel, or original film. The underlying problem, as highlighted in the next clip, isn't merely the volume of films being produced, but the poor quality of storytelling. At the heart of this decline lies Disney's fixation on identity politics, which continues to drag the company down. Disney once thrived because it genuinely understood its audience. They recognized that people weren't looking for political agendas woven into their entertainment. Instead, they yearned for well-crafted stories, relatable characters, and productions that respected their intelligence. However, over time, Disney has lost sight of this essential understanding. Even after the disappointing performance of the second Black Panther movie, which Disney itself lauded for its increased representation and female lead, they failed to see the broader implications. Despite the diversity and progressive elements, the sequel grossed only half of what the original did. Why is that? Because representation alone doesn't sell a movie audience's desire more than just a diverse cast. They crave an engaging story. During the debate, the frustration of the Disney representative became increasingly evident. With each point that was countered, his position weakened. Critical Drinker astutely highlighted how Marvel's decision to pivot towards a predominantly female MCU marked the beginning of their downfall. This strategy has clearly backfired. While production budgets have soared, profits have dwindled. From the start, Drinker identified a truth that Disney failed to grasp. Their approach was unsustainable, and history has shown that he was correct. What many have been voicing for years is finally beginning to resonate within Disney, albeit after a staggering number of flops and relentless fan backlash. It appears that the company is starting to awaken to this reality. After 5 long years filled with failures and a chorus of voices echoing the same concerns, the message is beginning to take hold. One of the first indications of this shift emerged during the debates. It seems that Disney and Marvel have started to heed their critics by removing activists from their creative teams. Initially, this claim seemed hard to believe, but recent announcements about changes in the MCU have garnered unexpectedly positive reactions. Their 2 major films, Inside Out 2 and Deadpool Wolverine, have experienced tremendous success, primarily because they avoided the pitfalls of pushing political agendas or controversial messaging. Instead, these movies focused on delivering what audiences truly desire: solid entertainment without unnecessary distractions. Interestingly, the creative team behind Inside Out 2 recently shared an enlightening revelation. They indicated that Disney attributed the failure of Lightyear to the inclusion of a contentious same-sex kiss, believing it alienated certain viewers. Taking that lesson to heart, they reportedly instructed the animation team working on Inside Out 2 to minimize any implications of the main character Riley being depicted as gay. This decision seems aimed at widening the film's appeal and steering clear of the divisive backlash that previously afflicted other projects. And it appears this strategy has paid off in spades. Inside Out 2 has amassed over $1.6 billion at the box office, not only earning the title of the highest-grossing animated film of all time, but also becoming the top film of 2024. This remarkable success speaks volumes, and it's crucial to highlight that the studio didn't sacrifice the integrity of the story to advance a political agenda. They stayed true to the character, as Riley was not portrayed as gay in the first film. Introducing such a significant change in the sequel would have felt forced and out of place. Fortunately, Disney sidestepped that potential misstep, and the film's outstanding performance clearly shows that audiences respond more positively when storytelling is prioritized over messaging. What's even more significant is that this success is likely to encourage Disney to lean further into the direction that many fans have been advocating for years. The message is finally resonating: avoid divisive, politically charged content and concentrate on crafting engaging, entertaining narratives. After years of dissatisfaction, it seems Disney is starting to learn the lessons that fans have been vocalizing for so long. Perhaps this heated debate on national television acted as a catalyst for Disney to change course. Regardless, it's becoming increasingly evident that these influential voices are making a significant impact on the entertainment landscape. They've shed light on issues that resonate deeply with a vast audience, and their reach is unmistakable. It feels like we might be witnessing the early signs of a cultural shift in Hollywood, but it's essential to recognize that it will take time for Disney to fully reconnect with its roots. The cultural pushback is underway, and this could signal the dawn of the end for woke entertainment. This raises an intriguing question. What are your thoughts on these recent developments at Disney and in Hollywood at large? Are you hopeful that meaningful change is on the horizon? Let's dive into this discussion in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends to help spread the word. Your support is invaluable, and if you want to keep up with our future content, be sure to subscribe.